Hi everybody, it's Kate Luella here. My blogger interview today is with two ladies. They're actually sisters, Davina and Carolyn, and they run a blog called usefulgraphicdesigntutorials.com. I actually see Carolyn around a bit on the social network. She's quite strong around Facebook and forums that I also visit, and I've come to know her very laid-back style. She's also quite good to network with, very helpful and very friendly and things like that. I think you'll really enjoy this interview because they're very funny to listen to. In fact, I was laughing a lot through this interview, which I've tried to edit out as much as I can. For example, I love it when Caroline said, look, we're the wrong side of 50. We're just two sisters, the wrong side of 50. I found that very funny. But the gist of her comment was that her and Davina were putting together this fantastic blog of tutorials because there was a need for it. They enjoyed doing it, and with that ideology in hand, usefulgraphicdesigntutorials.com was born. So in this interview, the two girls talk about the pros and cons of working in a partnership. They also talk about their strategy for their social network and building a list of subscribers. And Caroline also discusses with us her ebook she has just created and launched called Impact with Images, which is currently on sale now, and there will be a link in this blog post and iTunes link that you can purchase it if you want to. And Davina gave us also the heads up that she's about to release an ebook too, so I'll be keen to see that as well. So don't forget to also leave a comment or review in iTunes or on our blog, bloggerinterviewspodcast.com. And I hope you enjoy this interview as much as I did. They're a great sport, easy to talk to, and by the way, they're in Wales, not England. So without further ado, here's the two girls, Carolyn and Davina. Now, thank you for talking to me. I've got Caroline and Davina both. This is my first interview with two ladies at once, so I'm a little bit nervous. How are you guys going? I was going to say Welsh, but where are you?
Well, yeah, I'm on the borders with Wales. Kate, hello, and I'm Caroline.
I'm Davina, and I am actually on the North Wales coast.
Okay.
So anybody interested, get a map of the UK, and Wales is to the left.
Okay. Okay, so listen, guys, great to talk to you. Now, I know I've been following you guys for a while, especially Caroline, because, of course, I've come across Caroline a few times on Lynn Terry's forum, Click News, which we're both a fan of. How did you hear about Click News, Caroline? How did that evolve that you got into that one?
Well, I think I think the term is lurking. I've been lurking around Lynn for about a year.
That sounds terrible.
I mean, don't tell her, will you?
No.
I've been commenting on her blog, and I've been listening to what she had to say, and to be honest, it all made perfect sense. And I kind of we decided that we needed to have a little bit of sort of outside guidance. Well, I did anyway. You know, you can become a little bit too sort of insular.
Yeah.
And so Lynn was offering a really good sort of offer for her elite forum, and I jumped in and joined. And that's really how I became part of that forum.
Yeah, yeah. And you get a lot of value from that. You're still doing it, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so much great information on there. In fact, we're both part of that. It's just that I happen to sort of be around there for a little bit longer than Davina.
Right, okay. I'm just trying to think then, because it's really got me interested. I mean, you guys have got it's really a website come blog. Well, it's really a blog, isn't it? The graphic tutorials, usefulgraphicdesigntutorials.com. Is that it?
That's right.
Yeah, beautiful. So when you guys set out to do this, now your background wasn't so much the internet. You'd had sort of more like, do you want to tell us, you did nursing and things like that, didn't you?
I was a social worker. Well, probably still am. But yes, I my speciality was
Why
mental
are you laughing?
No, I'm laughing at Davina because she said she still is because of no, she helps lots of other people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, but that's my background.
Yes. Okay. So I think you've gone into this graphic design tutorials from the perspective of you enjoying it. Is that right?
Yes. I mean, is the simple answer to that, Kate. We're not classically trained. We're self-taught.
Right.
But we have an interest. Well, Davina's been doing Photoshop for a long time. Mm-hmm. I do a little bit of silk painting, or did when I had the time. We've always sort of liked colours and things, and sort of shapes. I mean, that sounds silly, but as opposed to sort of landscapes and stuff like that.
Right.
And we were looking for some tutorials for a particular program, and of course we went onto YouTube, and we found I mean, look, it's no disrespect, but
Mm.
we found videos that we couldn't hear. We
Yeah.
found videos that we couldn't see.
Mm.
We found videos that we couldn't hear, see, or understand.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we kind of said, oh, do you know what? Let's just make some ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really how it sort of progressed, to be honest. Well, that's how it started, I should say.
Mm.
Anything that's come after that has sort of stemmed from that initial frustration.
Mm. So that's interesting. So, I mean, I agree with what you're saying about the standard of the quality of the, YouTube videos. Although a lot of them are getting better. I've noticed a lot of professionals coming on board now. But I know what you mean. So this was about a year ago, was it, that you guys started out?
About 18 months.
Okay, so nearly 2 years ago. And so now, did you have any? I'm dying to ask you this question. Did you have any sort of mentor besides someone like Lynn Terry?
Not really when we started, no.
No? Okay. Now, the reason I ask that is because you're so good at networking. And that's kind of thing you get taught from a mentor. So that's why I've sort of wondered that. So I'm so interested in the fact that you don't have a mentor. It really actually amazes me. But
Well, hang on.
Caroline's done a lot of networking offline.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's I'm not that good. Caroline is brilliant at it, so that's one of her strengths.
What's your overall strategy with useful graphic design tutorials? Do you guys have a game plan? That's what I'm interested in knowing.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've got to. I mean, we work together, which is great. Because you can get lots of ideas, but there can be downsides to it. So one of the things is we've got to have a game plan, and our strategy is work to our strengths. Caroline is, as I've just said, she's a much better networker than me, and she's very good at finding useful articles, tidbits, and that. I'm more behind the scenes. I'm sort of in the bat cave. I tend to answer questions. I would say I'm more on the technical side, although Caroline has done a fair amount of technical stuff. So that's what we tend to do, is use our strengths and work together, plan what we're going to do and who's going to do it.
Okay. What about as an online entity, though? I mean, like, do you have a game plan? Like, you just recently released a book. I think it's your first book, isn't it?
Impact with Images Guide.
Okay. Now, how did this book come about, and where have you promoted that? Is that on Kindle, or what's the go with that book?
How did the book come about? Well, one of the things that we're not afraid to do, Kate, is have a go.
Okay.
And we hadn't written a book before. We had two different ideas about what we wanted to do. So we decided, well, I'll write one, Davina will write one. And my reason for writing it was that there's a lot of talk about images. I mean, obviously sites like Pinterest and what have you. But I personally thought that some of the challenges for people with images is how to kind of put some ideas together about what could make a good image. What simple techniques could you use to take it from being fairly mediocre to something that's quite share-worthy? So that's where the idea from the book came from.
Right.
Where have we promoted it? Well, we've got loads of lovely subscribers, and we've initially promoted it to them. And we're actually just in the process of, if you like, launching it to the big wide world at large. So we've been doing some guest posts. We've been doing some interviews with the lovely Paulino and with your good self. But we're learning, we do have a strategy, but it's about trial and error in many respects.
Okay, so this book, when you release it, how much did you sell it for to your subscribers, or whatever you're going to sell it when you go to the public?
Sorry, two questions there. What price did we sell it to our subscribers? It was at $7 because that's a special price for them for being loyal.
Yep.
And actually we're selling it at $17 to everybody else.
Okay. Where are you selling that when you sell to everyone else?
Well, we've got a sales page. We aren't selling it on Kindle for the moment because we don't know anything about the mechanism of selling on Kindle.
Okay.
So we're simply selling it from our sales page and actually doing various promotions, whether or not it be webinar, guest posts, and so on. I mean, if you've got any other ideas on how we can promote that, we'd love to hear that.
Okay. Very briefly, are you putting it on ClickBank, anything like that, eJunkie, where you can get affiliates?
Well, yes, we're just setting up an affiliate program actually for it. But again, that's a first for us. We've never done anything like that before. So, let's have a go.
Okay. So what affiliate program are you thinking of doing? Because that might change a bit how you can market it depending on how you do the affiliates. So who are you using to do the affiliate?
JV Zoo.
Okay, fantastic. Right, that makes sense. I guess you got to define who your target demographic is. Do you know who it is? Is it would you say that it's internet marketers, or would you say it's people who blog? Who would you say is the typical person who wants to buy that book?
Well, actually, it's anybody who deals with images. I mean, that's very broad.
Okay.
But our initial market, our initial target market, is people who are coming online for the first time, who want to be able to create their own graphics. And we've put a mechanism in place to enable them to do that with our support.
Yeah.
But the book, I mean, it can be used for internet marketers. It can be used for bloggers. It can be used for anybody basically who has a product, who wants to know how to enhance the image of the products that they're selling, or maybe bringing attention in a more specific and direct way to the images. So it can appeal to lots of different people, I believe.
Yeah, I would have thought a big market for you would be product creators, online product creators, because they're type that are actually online and they're creating their own covers for their ebooks and they've got to edit them, and so that's probably something to think about too. Is anyone who's got a dev
It is, but actually
can I just come in there and stress that it's not a book showing people how to create covers for e-covers and things like that.
Right.
If people want to learn how to create images and that, then I would suggest that they look at our free tutorials. But the book in itself is enhancing images that you've already got and making them sort of come ahead of the rest, if you like, when you're trying to promote your own product.
So it's like photo enhancing, really, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
No, it's not photo editing, Kate.
No, it's enhancing. Sorry.
Well, yeah, it's taking a photo and just making it stand out from the crowd. Principally, as Davina said.
Yeah.
I mean, it's aimed initially, this particular version of the book, at people on Pinterest.
Okay.
That's where it's aimed initially. But of course, anybody reading sort of the contents could probably work out, well, actually, hang on a minute, I'm not on Pinterest, but I do use images, and that could probably help me in images on my blog or anywhere else, to be honest.
Well, I'll make sure I put a link to the to the book from my post, so that and on YouTube stuff, so that people can find it if they want to grab hold of it, because that sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't really know of anyone else that's got a book like that actually, so that's really interesting. So this is exciting. So then, what's your plans like for another book? Are you telling me Davina's going to do one as well? Is that what you're saying, or did I hear that wrong?
No, you're right. I'm going to be exploring the Kindle market.
Okay.
And it's because of our niche is connected with images. It's going to be a use of images and some of the problems that people find when they're using images online. I'm not going to say more than that, but yes, that's going to be my learning curve, if you like.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. So then you've got your 2 books. Is that sort of what you see yourself doing? Just keeping developing some more books? Will you?
No.
Okay, good.
No, one of the main things is putting together tutorials. We've got the free tutorials, which are aimed very much for the beginner to use the free open source software. And we've had a lot of good comments and a lot of requests for certain things. So what we're then into is producing tutorials for sale.
Okay.
And that's what we're working on at the moment. We've actually done one. It's in the bag, so to speak. It just needs a bit of titivating and whatever before we launch it.
Well, that's fantastic. So Do you think being two of you is actually being advantageous, like giving you a bit of a advantage over others who work alone, or do you think it's
Well, as I said in the beginning, it's got its pros and cons.
right?
The good side of it is sort of two of us coming together is more than us on our own, the whole,
Mm,
because we do bounce ideas off each other. But it does mean we've got to be organised. And that is a challenge for both of us.
mm.
Because it's it
Why
just
does
makes
Caroline keep laughing?
well, she knows what I mean.
Yeah.
Where is that damn file I put somewhere? We both have that. And the danger is, you see, if we don't get organised and decide who's doing what, something will get duplicated and something will get missed.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Um, but so we do have regular meetings. We're not living in the same place. We're living 80 mile apart, which means that we use Skype like we're doing now.
Yep.
We use Google Docs which is Google Drive now, which is great. So we can work on the same document. We use Dropbox to, put images, videos, or whatever, and Google Hangouts as well. We've started to use.
So why would you use Google Docs and Dropbox? Is it one better for one type of document and not the other?
Well, Google Docs, you can't do anything with a video. If you wanted to share a video, you can't share it, I don't think. You might be able to now, but Google Docs mainly a document that we say an agenda or something like that, or ideas for the next product. We both have access to it. But if we want to proofread, the eBook, I mean, that's a good example. Caroline sent it over to me and I proofread it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the Dropbox.
Right. Yeah, okay. So you'd prefer to use Google Docs, but you will have to sometimes use Dropbox, is what you're saying.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Okay. No, that's fine. I didn't realize about the video, so that's interesting.
But Google Hangouts is fast taking over from Skype, to be honest.
See, I've done a Google Hangout and I found it pretty poor quality. So maybe it's improving because that was about a year ago. So
Oh, yeah. Yes.
really?
Yes, it's changed a lot.
And
That's
we like sharing the screen because that's another service that we do provide with people, either paid or if they have a problem. It's so much easier to see it. So we will do share the screen. We've done it on Skype, but Skype sometimes gets a bit silly and gets all sort of, but Google Docs, very good.
Or a monkey. Yeah, I've had that. So, and you know what? I didn't know you could share the screen on Skype. So you're saying even on Google Hangouts, you can share the screen?
Yeah.
I see.
Oh gosh, yes.
I didn't know any of this. Why did you do tutorials on that?
Well, there's plenty of other people. If you
Doing.
yeah, on Facebook, there's Paulino is excellent at if you go onto Google Docs and what's his business page on there? Something Traveller, social media Traveller.
Not Google. No, you're getting confused, Davina. Not Google Docs, Google Hangouts. The thing about Skype is, though, Kate,
Yes.
you can only share the screen with one person.
Okay.
But with Google Hangouts, you can share the screen with up to 10 people.
Oh, okay.
And you can actually you can stream directly to an audience of over however many 500 if you do a Google Hangout on air.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you girls go and do a good tutorial on those, just that, sharing screens, and that would sell well, because I don't think most people even know about it, and they'd love to know that, because you could help clients with that, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that people like me don't know that.
A lot of people don't know that, no. A lot of people, I suspect, don't know that, no.
No. But anyway, that's all right. Let's not worry about that. So anyway, I'm very interested to hear about the future, which we've talked about, and I'm very excited that you're going to go into further development and you've planned all that. Obviously, being two of you, I think it has actually been an advantage because it possibly makes you perform. I think working for yourself can be a bit of a trap, you can get caught up on stuff. It's irrelevant. No one cracks the whip. But anyway, do you have any plans to join a forum or anything like that, or?
Did you mean, are we planning to have a forum attached to our site, Kate?
Is that something you're thinking of doing?
It's a possibility, yeah.
Okay.
As I say, we will look at anything that will fit in with what we're doing. Have, talk to people, have a go, see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think forums, you can put training within the forums. Well, you know what? Just like what Lynn has done, really. You could do that. So, because that's really what James Shranko does. He probably takes it a bit further than Lynn. He does a lot of training. You'll see where that takes you when the time comes. I think you could definitely do that, though. So,
I think the only thing that we can honestly say at this point about that is that we've got an open mind.
Yeah.
We're not afraid to have a go, and we'll kind of give it a go and see what happens, and then tweak it and revising depending on the results.
Yeah. Okay. Subscribers to your blog. I'd love to talk to you about this very briefly, though. How long you've had this going for nearly 2 years or 1.5 years? So, do you know roughly how many subscribers you've got?
We don't have any subscribers to the blog.
Okay.
But what you see, our main aim has been subscribers to our free tutorials.
Okay.
And we've got over 1,200.
Gee, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's really good. And because they've joined quite recently, then they're not like what you call old leads. So that's really valuable for you guys too. And how often do you post out to these people? Is that like once a week?
Okay. Can I just go back there and say,
sure.
We started off as an experiment on Facebook. We had a presence on the website, but we didn't do anything with it until a year ago. So that's really been going a year.
Okay.
Because we were focusing on building and developing relationships on Facebook. That's really what we were doing, and it was a bit of an experiment. To be honest, we kind of we met Ed Dale 2 years ago, and we knew from Ed that there was something big going to be happening on Facebook. So we decided to go over there and see what was going on. And we started to build relationships initially. And as Davina said, we offered our free tutorials as a means for subscribing to our email list. And a year ago, we then started to put together some information on the blog, and we've been consistently doing that, trying to consistently do that ever since.
So did you say Ed Dale?
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you hook up with, was he in Wales, or did you come to Australia?
No.
Sorry, I'd love Ed Dale to be in Wales.
I don't know.
Yeah. Do you know Ed Dale?
Well, I know of him. Yes,
yeah.
I know him personally.
We actually met him in London. We went to one of his, what do you call it? Well, it's not a seminar, but it was fantastic. We met him in London. And if anybody was a mentor, he was, I think, to begin with, wasn't he, Caroline?
There you go.
Yeah.
I love that. So that was about 2 years ago, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Now that's really interesting. And so he's inspired you guys, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
And because he has the Magcast now. That's his main project. Yeah, but I don't think he does anything else besides that at the moment, from what I've heard.
Oh,
so.
he does all sorts, does Ed. But it was the challenge, or the 30-day challenge, which started us off on this.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, isn't that interesting? I wonder if he'd love to hear that story that you. I must make sure he hears this interview. So
we kind of tripped over the 30-day challenge the night before, didn't we? Well, the day before.
Yes.
And we kind of went along. We thought, oh, he sounds really, really fun.
Yeah.
And of course he is. And we bumbled along. We had no idea what was going on. We didn't know anything to do with.
Still bumbling.
It was still bumbling. But we didn't know anything to do with internet marketing or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so he was talking about all these things, and we just like, well, we don't know. But...
A great team. I mean, Ed will say it isn't just him. It's all his team as well that have been fantastic and still are. I mean, we've still got access to the teaching and whatever. And Melbourne's a nice little place because there's a Eugene Ware from Market Samurai or Noble Samurai. They're from there. So it's an interesting place, is Melbourne.
Right.
And we've made some really nice friends on Facebook as well. Hello, Sandra.
None of that.
She's-
Okay.
We love the Aussies.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. I know what you mean. So no, that's fantastic. Okay, so we're talking about Ed Dale, and he inspired you guys to sort of start doing Facebook. You said really to network on child through Facebook, and then you did your tutorials to get a subscriber to the tutorials, and I can see how that's sort of all evolved now. So with your actual list to your tutorials, do you do blast outs to them, or is it on autoresponder or something?
We do. We use Aweber,
Okay.
which is a very good piece of kit actually. And yes, it does have an autoresponder in it, which is good because you can set up emails to be sent out over a period of time.
Yeah.
But also, as you say, we can send out a blast out if we think, oh, so-and-so's happening, right? We'll send that to them. But also, it's a great source of stats, in terms of who's doing what and all that sort of thing. So yeah, we use Aweber.
Yeah. Do you watch your stats a lot, like your metrics, your Google Analytics, or any of that?
Oh God, yeah.
Yes. But don't ask anything at the moment because it's just starting.
No. Hang on. No, we're going. Sorry, we've always looked at Google Analytics, because that's really important. But we're just getting to grips with all the various analytics on Aweber, and there's loads of them.
Right. I know you've got a lot of videos on YouTube. So do you watch the metrics on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. So you look at the audience retention and all that sort of thing?
Yeah. And we've just recently started to look at monetisation of YouTube as well. I love YouTube. I think it's a great source of information for all sorts of things.
So when you talk about monetisation, do you mean like as a YouTube partner? Is that where you're going with that?
Is that what I mean, Caroline?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
See what I mean? There's the pros of having a partner.
Well,
you answer that.
But
as
going
long
back
as
to
one of us remembers.
So, all right.
But going back to what you were saying about the metrics, what we did was we started off with a fairly hefty offer to invite people to subscribe to tutorials. But as a consequence of examining, the click-throughs, the open rates on YouTube, we've refined that offer. We recently changed it and refined it. So that came about as a consequence of looking at the stats, together with some feedback we did on a survey. We've done a couple of surveys, so that's kind of all refining and tweaking, if you like.
Can you give me an example of something that you changed as a result of looking at your metrics and your? Yeah, I know. I'd love to know what was something that's okay.
Shall I answer that, Caroline?
Please do.
Yes.
Well, for example, the first offer, the first free tutorials, we did around about 26 to 30 tutorials, one half on Inkscape and one half on GIMP. And it was an awful lot. And we found that people were opening the first couple and then it gradually dwindled, not to nothing, but we realised we'd given them too much. Right. And so we said, right, the next free one, we're going to reduce it. We're going to give them a specific end product to work towards, and we're just going to for the first one just use Inkscape as opposed to GIMP. I'll very briefly explain. Inkscape is using vector. GIMP is the alternative to Photoshop, which would be photo manipulation, and there's an awful lot of videos on GIMP but not so many on Inkscape, and that's why we concentrate on that. Plus it's an excellent program. That's what we did. We changed because we realised we thought there was too many of them.
So we went from 25 to 10.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and you gauge that by looking at your metrics that people aren't opening it. So why do it?
Yeah.
Let's make it more effective.
Plus feedback on the survey.
Okay, so people actually said there was too many, or?
No, they didn't. I mean, some of them are just too nice to kind of say that, I think. But we put two and two together. Well, we've made some really, really nice friends.
Yeah.
Through that, so we kind of deduced that.
Mm-hmm. Now, Inkscape, is that the comparable of Adobe Illustrator?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. eBooks. I don't need to ask you if you use PLR. It's pretty obvious it would be impossible.
Well, to be honest, we don't need to because there's so much contact Caroline finds out there anyway.
Yeah.
We use
and I don't really know what PLR is.
Well, I looked it up.
It means it's uncopyrighted. Anyone can use it.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can convey that we're just a couple of wrong side of 50-year-olds who live in Wales who stumbled across this. We bumbled along. We're not afraid to actually have a go, and we've created a bit of dust, and something's happened.
And we don't take ourselves too serious.
Okay. That's all right. Now, just moving on, I do want to touch on very briefly, because we're getting short of time now, guest posting. When you've said you've done a bit, did you say you've done any guest posting yet?
I've actually done 3.
Okay. Did you approach them or did they approach you?
I approached them.
Okay. And you said, look, I can put this together. How did you approach them? That's really what I'm interested
in. Well, I read their blog, their website. They were talking about certain things which resonated with me, and I kind of then thought, well, they might find it of use and of interest to have something to supplement their blog content. So that's really how I approached it. But I think there's certainly loads more that we can do. It's a whole area in itself, and actually the approach to people who have very high profile in the business will be quite different, and that's something to really think through. But I've been in sales for most of my working life, actually, and it's no different to approaching a prospect to buy from you. You've got to consider it. You've got to think about it a little bit, I think.
I suppose, and weigh up what you can get from it. So what should you put into it and all that. It's really,
And how to approach and recognizing that they're busy, and how can you principally help them?
Right.
How can you help them to help you?
That's number one, isn't it? Do they have a need, and how can you meet that need?
Yeah, no, I understand that. So you wouldn't, have you had anyone guest post on your blog or your tutorial site?
We have.
Okay. Now, did they approach you or you approached them?
We approached them, actually.
Okay.
Because it was, again, to do with the they completed the tutorials, the free tutorials, and they've done such a good job at creating images and whatever. And we said, well, would you like to do a guest post so that our other readers can see what's possible and hear it from somebody else rather than us?
Okay. Now, when you do a post, whether it's yours or a guest post, whatever, does that get blasted to your subscriber list?
Not yet, no. And we've got a lot to learn about sort of Aweber and all of that sort of thing. We tend to create, for the last year, we've created twice a month unique content for that list.
Right.
But we've actually got lots of lists because we've done Aweber all wrong, basically. And we've segmented it first of all. So we've got lots of different interests on those lists, which we're tailoring the information to. But we are thinking, are we not, Davina, about, but you see, I don't believe in blasting out your blog post to your list. That's not quite how I personally see it. Because what's the point in giving stuff just to keep in touch? I'd rather do less but be more informative or something different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, look, some people send out newsletters like once a week or once a fortnight, and it has within the newsletter, these were our posts this week, and then a link to them. So that's really what you're saying. Make it more personal and then still relate it to your blog. I think that's what you're saying.
We're not quite there yet, are we, Davina?
We're talking about it, aren't we, Caroline?
Yeah. You're nearly there. And of course, with Aweber, you can blast your posts direct through your RSS. So that's something you could look at. But obviously, you don't want to do that, so it doesn't really matter. So I won't tell you that.
Okay.
That's all right. But no, look, that's fantastic. Now, is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about or mention before we wind it up?
I don't think so from here.
No, so the next thing on the horizon for you guys is Davina's book, which is coming out. Does that actually have a name yet or not?
No, no.
Is that what it's called? Nope.
It's got lots of chapter headings and pretty pictures.
It's got a table of contents.
Yeah.
I understand. So, all right, now that's fantastic. And obviously more tutorials. So you're always working on your tutorials and...
We're learning all the time as well, aren't we, Caroline?
Yeah.
You could say that.
Yeah, but it's impossible to be online at the moment and not be learning all the time. There's just so much going on. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it is very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah.
And I find that too. So have you ever thought about doing a podcast? I suppose, I don't know if it would suit what you're doing, but...
What we want to do is we want to do webinars where we are demonstrating a particular technique or something.
Yeah.
That really is where it's more geared for us. We are visual. And I always say that if people have questions for us, we've got to the stage now where we're saying, oh, please send us a picture of what you're talking about, or more, and much easier for us to understand is send us a screencast of what you're doing. Because that's the other thing which we like to do. We do say to people, get in touch with us if you get stuck or you have a question. But now we're having to qualify it and say, oh, lots of visual information as well, please.
Yeah.
I think the couple of things to mention there, Davina, that you've brought out is people are really beginning to sort of engage on the YouTube side of things, because I think they realise that, you know, just because of the comments history, that when somebody puts a question in, we actually respond. Now, that might sound a little silly, but lots of people don't. So you're working on something and you kind of get stuck. And if you can't get an answer through that way, it can be very frustrating. So I think, I don't hate the word customer service, but, you know, supporting people is something that we're very, very keen on. But the other thing, going off a slightly different tangent, is this thing about doing demonstrations. And that's really, really something that we want to develop. Small groups, you know, kind of highly focused on the individuals themselves. So, yeah, there's lots to be going on with.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of potential because it's as you say, it's visual, and the internet is visual. So it's just the right place to be doing what you're doing. So it's really exciting. So I have no doubt you guys are going to do so well. I can't wait to watch you progress over the next year. And I'd definitely be really keen to interview you guys again, like in 12 or 18 months, and see where that subscriber list
coming to Melbourne.
Yeah, I'll come to Melbourne and do a live interview. Yeah.
We are coming to Melbourne, aren't we, Davina?
Oh, well, that's on the plan, yeah. Definitely. Oh, yeah.
So it's on Davina's plan, and it's definitely happening for Caroline. Yeah, it's lovely to talk to you guys too. So I'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.